February 25th, 2023 was the day that shocked the Roblox game space, pushing the boundaries of what many had deemed impossible for a Roblox game with its fully immersive storyline, endless things to do, and limitless potential. The game, Arcane Odyssey, had been in the making for many years, with its predecessor World of Magic being a game that was largely popular but eventually fell off due to a lack of updates. But the sole developer Vtex was determined to make this game one of a kind, a game that was truly an Arcane Odyssey. The hype leading up to the game's release was immense, but was it all truly as good as it turned out to be? Yes, it actually was. Kinda. The thing that most people don't understand about Arcane Odyssey is the fact that the game is in very early access, and most people just really don't seem to understand what this actually means. To put it in a way that will help some people understand, imagine a developer halfway through the development of a game before it even releases, or even a quarter of the way finished. The game has so much content missing, and with so many things he plans on adding before the release. The game is in just a state of just pure incompletion, and he knows this. This is basically Arcane Odyssey, but Vtex decided to make this game public for the people to try out years before he even planned on finishing it. And this isn't an exaggeration. I heard from somewhere that Vtex plans to finish the game if he can sometime in 2025 at the absolute soonest, or at least a good few years from now. It's difficult to call this a game since Vtex himself has a much grander and bigger vision for what Arcane Odyssey may evolve into, and almost everything you see in the game right now is possibly subject to a complete overhaul. The game we play now, known as Arcane Odyssey, may completely change into something different, and so it would be a good idea in my opinion to enjoy the game's current state as it is now before it's too late. But despite all of this, despite the fact that the game is probably not even a quarter close to its completion, despite all of the content that is missing and the things that are planned to be added in the future, the game is still incredible. A complete retake on the entire Roblox Bandit Beater style games where the only thing you do is grind mobs and click your mouse button at least 1 trillion times so that eventually you can show off to your 10-year-old pals that you are stronger than they are in a Roblox game. A refresh on a real adventure RPG experience that really tests the limits of how much fun the game can become. Arcane Odyssey has really shown us what a Roblox game can be and will become if the developer is genuinely and wholeheartedly passionate about making the best possible game, instead of one that is motivated by pure greed for money, creating bandit beater cash grabs. The game has received a lot of criticism in recent weeks about its slow updates, immense unoptimization, and content that people would rather not have in exchange for bug fixes and optimization. But the majority of the Arcane Odyssey community experiences the game with an incorrect mindset of judgmentalism, pointing out flaws and problems as if Vtex doesn't already know of them and isn't working on it. Because he does, and that is why it is in early access. The game was originally intended to be a paid game, which in my opinion would have been much better for it initially, so that the people who bought the game would have a much better understanding of the condition the game is currently in. Not to mention this limits the amount of players who could play it, which is the whole point, so they don't experience an incomplete, buggy and unoptimized build so they get a bad impression of it. Something happened along the way and Vtex decided to make the game public, which I'm not sure would be the best idea for the game. Yes, the community might have been sick and tired of waiting for it, but the end result would have been a lot more positive for the game's reputation, and honestly, that in my opinion is what really matters. If you haven't played Arcane Odyssey, then I'd highly recommend you play it, as I'm not going to spoil anything in this video, but when and if you do, please take the current condition of the game as a grain of salt, as well as what I've said here, because it'll be much healthier for your mindset and experience while playing Arcane Odyssey.